Welcome everybody. Happy day. What is today? Today's Wednesday. Yeah, that's the vibe of the week is kind of like sometimes I feel like I'm stuffed into a cannon and somebody lights the fuse and and I'm like flying around. I'm like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going to land? That's a little bit how I feel this week, but better than it could be because of today's live stream topic and what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to check Facebook. I decided to forego streaming directly to YouTube today because I was having issues with comments and being able to see them last week. So far, it appears that I can see some comments, although now it's stuck in limbo again. I see that Chris joined and says, hello, this is Chris, professional organizer based in San Diego, California. That's the only comment that I can see thus far, but I know there's people watching. I also know that my friend, Jack, who is on staff with one of the pieces of software that I'm going to be talking about today, is going to be joining the live stream. So if for some reason you have questions about that particular software and I'm unable to see those questions, he'll be in there answering live for you. Yeah, it's just stuck in posting mode. That is super annoying. So anyway, given that is the case, if y'all have questions, pop them in the comments and I will respond to them after the live stream is over. You can also, when you go to my YouTube channel to view this in the replay version, you can pop comments or questions in the comments there. And I am happy to answer them that way as well. I don't know. I think I need a new computer or something. It's just my computer's a bit of a grandma and having issues. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through these pieces of software. I'm going to do very brief demos of each one. I want to respect your time. This isn't going to be like a super in-depth thing, but I just kind of want to give you an overview of the tools and what I use them for and how they are making my life so much better. All right. So let me share this with you. And I'm going to put it in presentation mode to blow it up nice and big so y'all can see. Woohoo! It's a live stream. It's happening. If we, for whatever reason, have any issues with sound or whatever, you guys can watch the replay later and it will be absolute perfection. Promise. Okay, so today's topic, 3 tools that keep my business scalable and sane. And this is not an exaggeration. One of the tools, the first one I'm going to share with you in particular, has been such a game changer for me. And I shared a little bit about it on Instagram stories yesterday because I actually was able to finish my workday before 5 p.m., which I very rarely do as a business owner. So I'm going to give you a little bit of behind the scenes so that you can see these tools that allow me to work less, earn more, and actually breathe while scaling a business. This is something I've been talking to a lot of coaching clients about recently. And so just to give you kind of a bit of a back history here, I started my business, as many of you did, by myself from the ground up, and I worked my way into more of a CEO role with a team where I'm now off site. My team is on site, sometimes working multiple jobs per day. So there is a lot to manage, but I used to do every task manually, everything from bookkeeping to social media, video editing, everything. Working on site with the clients, late night emails, last minute schedule changes, billing chaos, all these things, until I realized that was no longer a sustainable way to run business. And so I built systems. And these are 3 of the best systems that I have come across, especially as AI has come to the forefront. And these tools kind of take my brain and my brand voice and kind of just the way that I like to run my business. And it kind of does it for me in the background. And it has freed up quite literally hours of my time every single day to the point where I am now able to clock off at 4. I've got 2 little kids at home. I have a 5 and a 6-year-old who do school at home. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. I know some of you are doing this as a side gig in addition to your full-time job or whatever that happens to be. And so any tool that you can throw at the process to automate something is going to help you breathe a little easier and actually feel like, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. So That's what we're going to dive into. My goal for you today is to help you work less, earn more, and feel less fried. And the important thing to understand is that structure equals freedom. So if you're like I was in the beginning, where you're doing everything manually, you're only one person and you are tasking yourself with many different hats. Whereas a lot of larger companies, obviously, these roles are separated out and there are many tasks to be completed within each of these roles. Chaos is expensive, not necessarily in financial cost, but in time cost. Chaos is super expensive. And it's also financially expensive in the sense that things fall between the cracks. You look less professional when you do everything yourself. You're not able to respond to leads as quickly. They will go elsewhere to seek business from somebody who has a more streamlined system, who has things set up on their website, who responds to the text messages and the phone calls. If you're on site working with clients and you get a lead phone call and you're not able to answer the phone, it's likely that you're going to lose that lead. So when you set up a structure, when you outsource, delegate, your time is freed up. You're able to think a little bit better. You're able to operate your business more professionally. Structure is also scalable. It allows you to have processes working for you in the background that are going to capture leads, their information, their preferences, and give you an understanding of what you may be working with. It may even allow them, depending on what systems you set up, to have them sign their contract and automatically pay an invoice so that you don't have to lift a finger. And this can all be done at 3 o'clock in the morning while you're asleep, and you wake up the next morning to a 50% invoice being paid and ready to start. There are ways to do this while still maintaining control over the lead onboarding process. And you can kind of pick and choose which levers you want to pull in order to have some control over the situation, make sure that you have properly screened the person and this and that. But the tools I'm going to share with you today are just very helpful in terms of getting you started with the automation process. So if you're somebody who is not technologically inclined, these things kind of set themselves up once you start using them, and then you can learn the software over time to kind of help with the process. Also, if you have ADHD, like I do, I am high masking ADHD. My brain attention is so fractured most of the time. And it's very, very frustrating for me to be able to get a task done from start to finish without going down 17 different rabbit holes. So these tools adjust with my changing scope of the day when I get an unexpected cancellation or when, something happens where my schedule needs to pivot. I'm not having to figure out how to rearrange my schedule because the tool is going to do it for me. And it has been an absolute game changer in protecting my time, energy, and income. So let's talk a little bit more about all these things. Great. Boom. Structure equals freedom. That's what we're talking about. So we're going to build digital systems that actually work with your brain. So here's the first tool that I want to talk to you about. It's called Motion. Motion is my external brain. It prioritizes my tasks. It automates schedule that's built in for real life, kind of what I alluded to earlier. And it eliminates time blindness and overbooking. So the way that I used to run my schedule was on a simple Google Calendar, and I would have all of the tasks and to-dos. I'm a big list maker. I'm sure many of you are as well. And I would try to fit in every single to-do that I had on my list. And I had what I considered to be a pretty good grasp of what I could get done in a single day. And then tasks would inevitably take me way longer than I thought they would. And then I would start to get behind and get more behind and more behind. And before you know it, I'm working until 9 o'clock at night, every single night. And obviously that's not sustainable. That doesn't feel good. And so what this tool actually does is it sees that you're getting behind. And if you set like a deadline for these and set a priority level for these tasks, I'll show you that in just a second, it will actually move that task that you are late on to a different place in your calendar automatically. If you don't get to it in time, it rearranges everything for me in the background. And what this has done for me, especially as somebody who has ADHD and really struggles with task initiation and perfectionism, it allows me to feel that sense of accomplishment because it's already been taken care of. The task has been diverted. If I need to add in a last minute meeting, a client calls me and says, hey, I got your project proposal. Everything looks good, but I have a couple of questions. Do you have time to chat? I can look at my calendar and say, yeah, I have time to chat, and I'll schedule a meeting for them, and everything else will shift around it so that I'm not compounding another task on top of what I already have going on in the day. Absolute game changer. For me, I feel that sense of accomplishment because things are getting done. And then I am done with my day in a reasonable amount of time. Absolutely incredible. Game changer for me. And when I tell you that it's not your average calendar and that it literally thinks for me, I mean it. So when I think a task is going to take me an hour, the calendar app is actually keeping track of how long it takes me to do that task. And if it takes me 2 hours, when I go to schedule that task later on, like if it's a repeatable task, it will suggest the amount of time that it actually took me to do the task the next time. So the tool gets smarter. It tracks how long it actually takes me to do stuff, so that when I do it later, I'm actually doing it according to how I've done it in the past. Incredible. We already went through all of that. Let's go. I'm going to hop into the demo of this. So let me share that screen so you can kind of see what it looks like. And I'm not going to do a full demo here because we'll be here all day, but I do want to kind of show you some of the features. There we go. Calendar. Boom. Oh, here's my motion calendar. The beautiful thing about this is that it syncs with my Google Calendar. It also syncs with Outlook, which is great. I think it syncs with Apple Calendar or anything else you use. Most of us are using a Google Workspace or something like that, or an Outlook. You're using Microsoft Teams and things like that. It syncs with my email, so my Gmail or my Outlook. I use both. And it also syncs with all of my Google calendars, both professional calendar and personal calendar. So all of these blocks that are blue, these are events that are pulled directly from my Google Calendar. So I know when I have appointments, I know when I have, all kinds of different stuff going on. And as you can see, my days are relatively busy, but what Motion has done is it pencils in white space for me wherever is necessary. And then I have to call a client after this. And that was not originally on my schedule yesterday. That was somebody called and said, hey, do you have time to chat with me about the proposal? And I said, yes. And so I snuck her in here after this live stream is over at 12:30. And every other task, the ones in gray, the little boxes in gray, are tasks that I've input into my calendar with the events that are kind of already existing within my calendar. And it kind of shifted everything around for me. So absolutely amazing. I'm able to add tasks or documents. So this is also a project management tool. So down in the workspace area, you can create templates. So this is where if you've had those one-on-ones with me in the last couple of weeks, or you've done one-on-ones with me through my Empowered Organizer membership program, I'm very systems oriented. I build SOPs, standard operating procedures, for everything, whether it's onboarding a client, whether it is how to organize a pantry, and all these different things. So if you are at the point, I was talking to a coaching client yesterday about she's ready to start with teams and she's running the business herself. She wants to have a team. My very first piece of advice is to start giving yourself SOPs, start recording your process, get it out of your brain. This tool allows you to create SOPs. You could create a new document. So I can share one with you here. I have a proposal that I'm working on for a new client. Here's a document here. So I have project scope, what type of project it is. I have the phase breakdown, how we're going to work, how many estimated hours it's going to be, product budget. I even have a timeline of hours and total cost investment for all of these different things. And I also create digital renderings of spaces, pictures that the client has sent me. And then I create digital renderings of the possible storage solutions that we could implement in that space. And this is this is a sample proposal, but this is pretty much exactly what I would put into a templated version and send to my client. I can also export this file. I can share it as a public link. So I can publish it and share it externally with members of my team. I can share it with the client if I want to. I tend to put this into a pretty kind of proposal template that has been created in Canva. But I can create all of these different things right inside of Motion. And then from here, I can actually create this as an SOP and say, these are the steps to create a project proposal, and then send it to the client. And then I need to follow up 2 days later, and so on and so forth. So that if you are somebody, like I was talking to somebody yesterday, if you're somebody who doesn't like the back end systems and you like to be on site working with your client, you have these systems already set up inside a tool like this, and you can very easily just hand that SOP over to a teammate if you're going to hire an admin or a business manager or something like that. And they can do all of this, work the calendar, do the sales, go through the process, because it's out of your brain and into a standard operating procedure that's written down and very easy to follow with a checklist. Okay. I love this tool. Yes, there is a bit of a learning curve, but let me show you some other things here. Let's see. Okay, so these ones here that are tagged in blue, these are actually tasks that were created by the founders of Motion. So this is sort of an onboarding thing that allows you to practice setting up this tool. So if you're not super tech savvy, look right here. They have videos available for you that will walk you through step by step on how to create a project in Motion. It'll teach you how to sync your calendar. It walks you through what's called the Motion basics, and it starts with the easy level stuff and then works you all the way up to more of the advanced features of the software. So they have all of this built into the tool to teach you how to use it over time. And it actually, the game changer, especially if you have ADHD, is that it gets put on your calendar so that you're actually setting aside time to do the thing. That's like the hardest part for me, and probably for a lot of other people. So that is why I love this tool. So I'm going to go back to sharing my slides again real quick. Screen, because I want to give you kind of the basic rundown of what you can expect, because obviously everybody's next question is like, how much is this going to cost me, right? So tool like Motion, price as of May 2025, an individual plan is $19 a month. So this is the only productivity app that literally does the planning for you. It costs less than your monthly Starbucks run. That is so true. And it saves hours every single week. I have access to a 2-week free trial. You can't get that anywhere else except through my invitation. So if you want to try this, remember, it automatically syncs with a calendar that you're already using. So there's very little setup involved. And then if you want to get more into the nitty gritty of it, they have the tutorials there. So if you want to spend a couple of weeks trying it out, DM me your email address, because it's invite only via email. I can't share a link with you or anything like that. It's exclusive to get that 2-week trial. So if you want that free access, DM me on Facebook, Instagram. You can also email me at melanie@ispeakorganized.com and just let me know that you want to try it. Okay. Tool number 2. This one I love even more than Motion. This is called Fixer.ai. It's a UK-based company. And this takes care of all of my email, and it also does note taking for all of my Zoom meetings, Google meetings, whatever Outlook uses for their meetings. It takes the notes for that. And actually, I think Motion has a feature to do that too, but I actually prefer this software for that because of the email integration. So this tool literally feels like magic. I had to do zero work to set it up with my inbox, and it was incredible what it does. So basically, it drafts emails and it handles the inbox triage. So it labels all of your emails as to respond, marketing, FYI, stuff like that. You can set up automations to divert emails to different labels if you want to, but all I had to do was connect the tool and it automatically started drafting responses. Now it doesn't send the responses automatically, it just drafts them. So basically what this allows you to do is if a lead emails you, and let's say that your inbox is flooded with all kinds of marketing and spam because you signed up for trials and this and that and blah, 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 and it's just you missed the email from the lead. This tool captures that without you having to do anything. So what happens for me is I open my Gmail and I go to my drafts folder and I see all of these pre-populated responses to people. And usually it's a lead that's like, hey, I'm interested in your services. How can I connect with you? This app has already created, it's drafted a response. Sometimes it'll give you two options. It'll be like, it syncs with your calendar. So it sees where you have gaps in your calendar. And so it'll give you times that you can then send to that particular person to say, yeah, I've got time on this date at this time to connect with you. All I have to do is edit the email and, make sure that the details are correct. Sometimes I have to do zero editing. So this tool, again, also gets smarter. And it looks at the previous responses that you've sent. It looks at your sent box, your outbox, and looks at how you respond to emails, your tone of voice, the words you use, emojis, like everything. And it sounds just like me. It's unreal. The only caveat here is that this company is based in the UK, so it uses UK spelling for stuff. So it spells organizing with an S instead of a Z. So sometimes like I've had to correct it for things like that, but super minimal. It's my inbox bouncer. Like I said, it's going to draft replies. It's going to transcribe and summarize meetings. I'll show you this feature in just a second, and it thinks and writes like me. So before we get into the pricing, I'm going to share my Fixer dashboard with you so that you can take a look at that. Absolutely incredible. And I did very little work to set this up. Okay. So let's go here. So here are the different categories that it will create to respond: FYI, comment, notification, meeting, updates, awaiting reply. If I've already responded, it'll give me an actioned thing, marketing. I can change these email rules if I want to. I can add additional ones. It will draft replies for me, and it will also draft follow-up responses if the person hasn't responded to me yet. So it's got all of these different things. Honestly, I haven't really done very much with this because it kind of sets it up automatically, and I'm still just sort of like experiencing the joy of not really having to deal with my emails. So instead of me spending 2 hours going through and manually replying to these emails, I'm literally just kind of touching up responses that are auto drafted in my drafts folder and sending them out. And I'm able to check my email in about 5 minutes every single day. Just unreal. It'll do calendar drafts. It'll generate scheduling links if you want it to. It'll propose times inside those emails. Note taker. So if we go to upcoming meetings, so I can hit this generate meeting link, and it will link to either your Outlook meetings or your Zoom meetings or whatever. And then it will record the calls. So to protect people's privacy and stuff like that, I will not go to the call recordings, but it transcribes the calls and summarizes them for you. So when you do a one-on-one with me, you don't have to take notes of any kind. We can just talk. We can just engage like two real people having a conversation. I know that I'm not going to miss any details. And if I say like, oh, I've got a perfect resource for you, I'll make sure to send it to you in the follow-up. This app captures that piece of the text in the transcript. And in the summary, it will write that I said I was going to send this thing. And then I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And so I go and grab the resource and put it in the follow-up email and send it to you. So I can send my clients very professional, very robust follow-up emails with step-by-step breakdowns of everything we talked about so that you get tons of value from a short 20-minute conversation with me. And so it's not out of laziness that I use this. It's out of wanting to underpromise and overdeliver for you to make sure that you get the steps and the resources and the tools that you need to move forward confidently, and that I am delivering what I say I'm going to deliver and more. And so this tool allows me to do all of that would normally take me an extremely long period of time, even creating the templates, the follow-up templates, which I used to do to try to streamline this process. Now I don't even have to use those anymore because it's all just done in here with the transcript of the conversation. Game freaking changer, people. Tell you what. Okay, now I want to share with you kind of the, specs about this one as well. So here are the specs for Fixer. As of May 2025, starting plan, $29 a month. My opinion, well worth it. Just to give you a little spoiler alert, the 3 tools that I'm recommending to you are going to cost you maybe around $80 per month. And that is way cheaper than hiring a virtual assistant. Just saying, to have somebody do all this work for you. The tools are kind of taking the forefront of that, especially if you're brand new and cost is tight, then obviously like this is a better way to go. I think most of us, especially if you have, a few clients that are somewhat regular, if you're working even like 1 or 2 days a week, you can afford $80 a month to have these tools at your disposal. But I also have referral links where you get free trials and stuff like that. And they're actually quite robust. And so I'll make sure to drop those links. So this saves me hours in email alone. That is no joke, like no joke whatsoever. And it's like hiring a part-time assistant for less than $2 a day, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So you're going to get a 7-day free trial referral link from me. I'll have it linked in the comments. I'm going to have to comment it after because the stupid thing is frozen on Facebook, which is annoying. So I will comment the free trial link after. I'll also make sure to pop it in the comment section of the YouTube video replay. And if you're on my email list, you will get access to all of these referral links, not a problem. So you can try this software for 7 days for free. And I actually did a trial version of this and thought that I was going to use a different software. So I canceled this one and my inbox went back to completely normal as if nothing had happened. So you don't have to worry about it kind of messing with your vibe if it doesn't work for you. And then I tried this other tool and hated it. And I was like, okay, Fixer's the one. And so I went back and I bought it. And I'm so glad I did. So I'll have that link for you. Okay, now let's talk about project to payment. My absolute favorite payment processing software. And full transparency, I am sponsored by this company, but if you knew the sort of back and forth that I had with the sales team before I actually agreed to come on board as a sponsor, like we were in conversation for at least a couple of months. I'm very, very picky about who I work with in sponsorship. And these guys just absolutely blew me away. So I do want to preface by saying that the other 2 companies I'm not sponsored for. I'm just using the regular referral links. And I encourage you that if you try these, you absolutely use your referral links for your friends and stuff, because it's going to, save you some money and stuff like that. But I am sponsored by Project to Payment, and they are my absolute favorite. So Project to Payment gives you the ability to get paid without the pain. And I'm going to tell you a story in just a little bit, but I want to run down the specs with you of Project to Payment first. And then I'm going to also link to an additional resource where I go through a very full, robust demo of Project to Payment. And then I think that Jack is also manning comments for Project to Payment inside of the Facebook group. So he may be in there answering questions about it now. So Jack, if you're here, hey, what's up? Okay. So Project to Payment, the kind of basics of it, it allows you to keep a card on file for your clients, which is automatic piece. I talked to several coaching clients in the last couple of weeks that quote their client a project rate, client pays them in cash, they go in, they blow the estimate, they end up staying for like an extra hour or 2, and they're not getting paid for that extra hour or 2 because they didn't have a contract in place, they didn't have a card on file to adjust the scope and estimate, and they're getting paid in cash for less time than they actually performed, which sucks. So we personally don't set foot on site in a client space without having a card on file. And we charge retainer fees for clients who are billed hourly. So they have to pay ahead of time a retainer fee, and then we will adjust up or down depending on how the session went that day. If we did more hours, that's generally what happens. Then we will, add it to their invoice and charge them the extra. If they went under, we prorate them and give them a little bit of a refund or whatever. We tend to go project-based payments. So people are paying 50% upfront, and we know the card works because we used it. It's saved on file, and then we charge them the remaining balance at the end of the project, and it is zero problem for anybody else. So it also allows you to create projects and track sessions all in one place. So I will kind of give you a little bit of a behind the scenes peek of my dashboard and Project to Payment, so you can kind of see where all those things live and what they do. So you're able to, again, templatize, I don't know if that's a word, but you can templatize all those things and just have them automatically ready to go and send project proposals to your clients very, very quickly. And it just makes you look more professional and seamless for the client. So I know that it feels weird to have access, especially if you're a new business owner, it can feel weird to have access to somebody's credit card information. And then they've agreed to spend $3,000 with you. And it feels really icky at first to like put in that number and then hit take payment. And then it's like success. And they've just paid you $3,000 or $5,000, whatever it is. It kind of feels a little funky to be able to do that. But trust me when I tell you, and I've had clients tell me this in the past, they prefer that. Especially if you're targeting the correct clients who are really, really busy and they've allocated the funds, you've communicated the scope ahead of time, like everybody's on the same page. They don't want to have to open up their app and put their credit card number in, and like they're busy. They don't want to do that. They want you to do it. And so this makes it easier for them. I literally had a client text me the other day because I sent her an itemized invoice with a QR code on it so that she could scan it and pay if she wanted to, but we had the card information on file already. And she was like, is there anything that I have to do here? Like, it was like really early in the morning. She was a little bit annoyed with me, but I was just, trying to give her the itemized invoice or whatever. And I was like, nope, there's nothing you have to do. And she was like, great, because I don't know where my card is right now. Can you just charge it for me? They want you to do that. Okay. They want you to make their lives easier. So now I'm going to take you inside the dashboard so you can see this, because I've used everything. I've used Stripe. I've used Square. I use PayPal. This is by far the cleanest and easiest platform to use. There is like zero learning curve with these folks. It is like stupid simple. A 5-year-old could use the software, like straight up. I mean, I don't encourage you to actually let your 5-year-old use it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really easy to use. Okay, so where's it at? There it is. Okay, let's share. All right, so here is the project and estimates setting area. Let me take you back to regular settings real quick, just so I can give you kind of a rundown of everything. This is like the hub of basically everything that exists within project to payment software. So it has brand settings. So you can customize according to brand colors, your logo. You can put in your business address and email address, because all of those things need to go on your invoices and the emails that you send for legal purposes and stuff like that. You can do invoice settings. So this allows you to send invoice reminders. So if you invoice a client for something, like we invoice clients for retainers, and you can set the invoices to just keep on coming until you get paid. No other software I've used has ever done that. You can toggle it on and off. Super easy. The online review link. This is a game changer right here, because you can actually connect the review page link to your Google reviews. So right now it's set for ispeakorganized.com. I can change that to my Google review link. And I highly suggest you do that, because it will send them I think it's an email link. Yeah, it'll send them an email, and all they have to do is click the button and it will go to the Google review link. Square doesn't do that. Stripe doesn't do that. PayPal doesn't do that. The fact that you can do that and remove the friction of getting a review that boosts your SEO, like that is well worth it, in my opinion, even just for that feature alone. Project estimate settings. This is a really important one as well, because you'll see here on the left-hand side, there's a scheduling tab. And so you can schedule all your projects in your scheduling tab, and then you set your project and estimate settings. You set project start reminders to on. So now you don't have to manually follow up with a client and be like, hey, I'm scheduled to come in tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we'll be there till 1. Like, are you still good? Can I do that? No, this tool is going to do it for you. It's going to send the automatic reminder, and you don't have to do anything. You can set the morning reminder. So if you want to send it morning of, you can send it a certain number of days beforehand. You can change the default message, all these things. Your project is scheduled for today. Please let me know ASAP if you need to reschedule. Obviously, this needs to be in accordance with your own scheduling and cancellation policy. So make sure that if you haven't created those yet, that you do that, and then integrate it with your project start reminders that sync with your calendars. You can keep all your customer information on file. I don't actually work with Oprah Winfrey, but this is just, my example account here. So you're able to view the customer, get all their information uploaded in here, their projects, their payment methods, their invoices, all those different things. Address, all that stuff is obviously important to have. The different the projects that you're working on with them. You can go in and edit the details of this and send it to your team or send it to them. Payment methods. Some of my clients have multiple payment methods on file. The last thing that I wanted to show you about this or explain to you about this, it integrates with QuickBooks. It has an app version that functions exactly like the computer, like the PC version, your laptop version. And the reason why that's important is because when you want to take a payment, you can do it from your phone on site. So if a client is like, I don't know where my checkbook is, or I can't find my cash, you're like, that's okay. I got it all right here. You can just let me know your number or this or that, and they can hand you their card and you can take payment right there if it's not saved on file. I prefer to have it on file because I process all my payments since I'm not on site, my team will let me know how many hours they've done, and I can put it into an itemized receipt and charge the card on file directly from my payment processor system. You also have a quick QR code generator. So you can put in the payment amount and then the person can scan the QR code and pay directly from their phone if they don't want to hand you their credit card for whatever reason. So you can do that too. You can also do that on your phone. All of these features transfer seamlessly from this version to the app version, and it's mobile responsive, and it's just absolutely the best. So let's talk about the specs of this one. This is by far the best deal that you get. Pricing as of May 2025. So it's really important in order to get this deal. You can't get this deal any other way. You have to go to project2payment.com/iSpeakOrganized. So you have to put the iSpeakOrganized part in there. I believe you can also use code iSpeakOrganized at checkout, but this way is just easier if you do it that way. Their regular monthly plan without my deal is $19.99 per month. The annual plan is going to save you $40 if you want to pay $200 for the year. With my link only, the only way you get access to this is a free 3-month trial, people. 3 full months of not paying that $20 per month fee. Their transaction fees are the lowest in the industry. It's the standard Stripe rate. Like I said, having worked with Square and PayPal and Stripe and all these other folks, they charge variable transaction fees depending on what payment method you attach to them. Some people can pay with their bank transfer. Some people can pay with Cash App or Afterpay or whatever. Project to Payment keeps one transaction fee regardless of how they be paying. Okay, so that's huge. Plus the 30 cents for your credit card transactions, which again is standard. Now I pass on my transaction fees to, it's a business expense. I don't pass them on to my client. You can pass it on to your client if you want. You can include that as a transaction fee to get the cost of that transaction fee back, but I just expense it as a business expense and I don't nickel and dime my client that way. So for less than $20 a month, I get paid faster. Skip the awkward money conversation and keep everything organized. Super easy. So let me tell you a quick story about this. It's also important to have this information on file for the purpose of proof of work, because what can happen with credit card transactions is somebody can dispute it with their bank and it will withdraw the funds from your account and issue a chargeback. So this happened to us a couple months ago. We had a client that was not the right fit for us. That's all I'm going to say. And I have everything documented. This is why I have people sign contracts. Okay. This is why we take photos. Our photo release is mandatory. We make it so that we give them the option to opt out of us sharing their photos, but it's mandatory that we take before and after photos for proof of work, right? And then we also have to keep a card on file so that we have proof of payment. Okay. So we have a paper trail and all this stuff. If you're taking cash or checks or whatever, and you're like putting it into your little Google spreadsheet, if they dispute the charge with the bank, it's not as likely to be shown as actual legitimate proof versus using something like Project to Payment, where you can see the credit card last 4 digits ending in, whatever they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had this happen to us. We served somebody. We did 1 session with them like 3 months ago. I have text message confirmation that the session was complete, that they were happy with the work. It had their name and their phone number attached to it. It had before and after photos. I was able to take screenshots of that. I was able to log into my payment processor system and take a screenshot of the last 4 digits of their card, showing that that was the same card that was connected to the bank account that they disputed with. I was able to send them the signed contract that said they agreed to our payment terms and all these different things, because basically what that person is trying to do is steal services from us. That's not okay. But when you use tools like this and you do your due diligence, you have your systems in place, you have everything you need. So I'm not stressing. I know that even though that money is temporarily removed from our account as a chargeback, that it's going to come right back, because we have proof that we did the work. That's why you set these systems up. I don't have to stress about that stuff. Nobody's stealing from us or from my team that worked their butt off on that session dealing with a difficult client. I don't have to worry about it because of all of this is set up for me. So if you want these systems and you want my templates, like if all this sounds good and you know, like you're at the point where this is a legitimate business for you, this is I'm no longer a labor for hire person. I want to be professional. I want to streamline. I want to be able to work a normal work day without being totally fried at the end of the day. I want some of these systems. I want to learn how to use them. Come talk to me. Clearly, I'm a huge nerd about it. I've tried everything, and I am so busy. Like I rely on these things. I would not be able, truth be told, I would not be able to run my business if I didn't have these systems in place. So that's what I give you as your coach, as a teacher. That's my calling. That's my gift. That's my passion. I love to share these things with you. I love to help you level up. I want you to be successful. This is how you do it. I'm so transparent about that. I'm an over deliverer, as you can tell. I am sitting here going on an hour of giving you free, really high quality information to help you run your business the right way. So if you want more of that, if you want that monthly access to all of this stuff, my templates, my workflows, my scripts, monthly coaching, live trainings, training replays, my workbook materials alone that go along with these lessons, all about pricing, branding, insurance, any sort of like legal forms, contracts, all that stuff. All that stuff is being created and uploaded into the portal inside my Empowered Organizer membership program so that you can take advantage of it. I'm basically giving you my business, which I've been in business for almost 10 years now, and I've made every mistake in the book. I'm giving you my SOPs, and I teach you how to write the project proposals and do all the things, everything. I don't gatekeep, okay? I teach you basically all of the back end systems and how I run my business, which has been very successful, and teach you how to do that with no holds bar inside of the Empowered Organizer membership program. So you get all of that access. So if you are somebody who knows that this is for you and you vibe with what I'm telling you, and you've found value in this training, imagine the value that you get working with me every single month and getting those questions answered. I want to continue to provide even more value to you. So I'm allowing you the opportunity to book a free 20-minute call with me. I'm going to be honest, when I did the live stream last week and I dropped the link, I think I may only have like 2 slots left. And that was after adding 3 additional slots as of last night. One of them got snapped up in the middle of the night last night. I only have 2 slots left for these free 20-minute calls. So I'm going to drop that link in the comments. If you're on my email list, ispeakorganized.com/subscribe, you're going to get the follow-up email with the replays of this. That link will be in there. Snap up those last 2 slots. If you're ready to apply this to your business, you get a free 20-minute empowerment coaching call. You also, if you get that call with me, get the bonus client communication power pack. So let me show you what that looks like in just a second. Basically, it is a list of templates and scripts that allow you to have the script necessary in an email, text message, phone call, whatever, to deal with flaky clients or other tricky client situations. It's definitely a game changer. I use a lot of these scripts and templates in my own business to turn situations around for everybody involved. Spots, May 19th through the 23rd. So next week, like I said, I only have 2 slots left. And the other reason that this is important. So let's say you can't get that 20-minute call. If you want to join the membership, if you've talked to me before, if you get value out of this, the price to the membership program is going up in June. So you have 2 weeks to lock it in at that $69 a month rate. And you can cancel anytime. I'm like Netflix, it's a subscription service. You use it as you need it. When you outgrow it, you can cancel. If it's too overwhelming, you can cancel. If it's, just not the right fit, or I'm annoying, or I talk too much, or whatever, you don't feel like you get enough value. First of all, come talk to me first. Second of all, it's okay. You can cancel. It's really not a big deal. But the price is going up to $75 an hour. My gosh, $75 a month in June. So take advantage of that while you can. There's your snack. Hey, I'm momming over here. Okay. So bottom line here, you do not need more hustle. You need the right systems. I want you to work smarter, grow stronger, stay sane. Super important. People out there need your help. Okay. If you are not treating yourself to a little bit of delegation and outsourcing, and you're trying to do everything yourself, you are depriving the people around you of your gift. They need your help. You need to help yourself out. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Join my email list, take those 20-minute calls, join Empowered Organizer. Let me help you with this stuff on a recurring basis. I want you to be successful. Bottom line. Okay. Last thing I'm going to share is this document that you get. And then I'm going to sign off. It's been fun. Hold on one sec. Share screen. Okay. Here's the client communication power pack. Let me blow it up so you can actually read it. Okay. So basically what this is navigating tricky conversations, booking with confidence, and follow up with authority. So we all know that being ghosted by people is really annoying. And often it comes down to just a slight tweak in messaging and how you deliver that message to get a response. And that is like something that I am very well versed in. I'm actually quite good at sales. I close on average, after reviewing our KPIs, about 98 to 99% of our sales, which is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. I keep our team pretty busy. So in this resource, you get how to set the tone and get the most of your communication with the templates. You are going to nail your first impression and set clear expectations from the start with my consult confirmation script and prep email. Boundary setting scripts for flaky clients. Protect yourself professionally. You want to protect your time and energy. You need to know how to do it right without feeling icky. I can help you with that. The feedback request template. Encourage reviews and testimonials without feeling awkward. Spoiler alert, project to payments little link that they send in the email blast feature is one of the things that I use to make it very low friction. Just saying. Rebooking nudge, 2-part follow-up script to bring clients back with ease. So you're going to experience ebbs and flows in your client onboarding and your lead generation process. We all go through slow times. And the best thing and the number one strategy that I recommend in that scenario is to run a re-engagement campaign with past clients, because the people that are most likely to buy from you are the ones who have already bought from you. So let's, sweeten the deal. That's the rebook nudge sequence that I'll give you, the 2-part follow-up script, both with text messages and emails and all the things. Phone consultation or phone scripts for that as well. And then you're going to get that client satisfaction survey template with questions to improve your service and collect social proof. So you can share little snippets of those reviews on your website or in your social media content and so on and so forth. And then, of course, there's a link in there to go deeper if you want to join the Empowered Organizer membership at the reduced rate before it goes up in 2 weeks. You only have 2 weeks to take advantage of that. So take advantage. That's my final offer for you. Okay, my friends, this is it. I'm going to check Facebook one more time. I see no comments. I know they're there. I know as soon as I end this live stream, the stupid comments are going to populate, and then you'll see me like the meme of that cat, like pounding on the keyboard. I will answer any and all of your questions until I have my meeting at 12:30. So that's that. If you want access to the replay, it's going to be pinned to the Facebook group in the featured section. You can also head to my YouTube channel and you can search for it there. If you want to make it super easy on yourself, join my email list, ispeakorganized.com/subscribe. And that will send you a beautiful prepackaged email with the referral links to Fixer, Motion, and Project to Payment, as well as the links to both of the live streams that I did, the Pricing with Purpose one and this one from today. So that's what I got for you. Hopefully, Jackson, they're answering questions about P2P. I have no idea. But anyway, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for showing up today. And I will talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.